Good morning to each and everyone. So, my name is Joshua Sico Preston, Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics. Our lesson today is about Module 5, Learning Thinking Styles in Multiple Intelligence. Learning Thinking Styles. So, learning thinking styles is refers to the prepared way an individual process information. They describe the person's typical mode of thinking, remembering, or problem solving. Furthermore, styles are usually considered to be bipolar dimension. So, learning thinking styles refers to construction of cognitive artifacts, such as the conceptual models of theories about the physical world, and mental models, both simple and complex systems. So, example, textbooks, pictures are useful and effective learning tools for individuals preparing the visual perceptual channels. So, there are several perspectives about the learning thinking styles. We shall focus on sensory preference in global analytic continuum. So, sensory preference. Individuals tend to gravitate toward one or two types of sensory input and maintain the dominance in one of following types. So first is visual learners. Visual learners these are learners must be see their teacher's action and facial expression to fully understand the content of the lesson. If you are visual learners, you are learned by reading or seeing a pictures. You understand and remembering things by sight. You can picture what you're learning in your head. And you learn best by using methods that are primarily visual. So example, a visual learners would learn to fix a car better if they watch an instructional video rather than listening to an expert explain the process. 2. Ricardo. They further breaks down visual learners into two. So first is visual iconics. Visual iconics, those who are preferred this form of input are more interested in visual imaginary such as film, graphic display, or pictures in order solidify learnings. So visual iconic is the storage of visual memory that allows people to visualize an image after physical stimulus is no longer present. It is a type of sensory memory that lasts just milliseconds before fading. So, example, look at an object in the room in you are in now, and then close your eyes and visualize that image. The image you can see in your mind is your iconic memory of your visual stimuli. So next, visual symbolic, those are preferred. This is form of input feels comfortable with abstract symbolism such as a mathematical formula or the written word. So visual symbolics are representation of directly reality, which comes in the form of signs and symbols. The following is a detailed discussion on the different kinds of visual symbols, which are drawings, sketches, cartoons, comics, or strip drawings, diagrams, charts, and graphs, maps, and posters. The example of visual symbolics are roses, smiley face, snowman, and the medieval cross. Next. Auditory learners. They learn best through the verbal lectures, discussion, talking things through the listening to what others have to say. So, auditory learners means that a student most effective by listening. They would prepare listening to a lecture over the reading a textbook or hearing instruction for projects instead of figuring it out hands-on. So, example, children who are auditory learners often love music and can remember the words to song they hear. They can easily follow spoken direction, and if they don't understand something, will often have to say, "Tell me again." Auditory learners like to read out loud rather than silently even they are alone. Next. Auditory learners also fall into two categories. So first is Listeners. Listeners, this is more common type. They are mostly like do well in school. Listeners, they remember things said to them and make the information their own. So, example. So, an effective listeners make sure to let others know that they have been heard and encourage them to share their thoughts and feelings fully. So, next, talkers. Talkers are the ones who prefer to talk and discuss. So, talkers, they often find themselves talking to those around them. So, a good talker is genuine in their care for others, a trait that becomes apparent in their tone of voice and body language. Example, think about the people in your life who love talking to. Perhaps you have a friend or coworker who can tell stories really well, give a great toast, spark up in compelling conversation with almost anyone. So next, tactile kinesthetic learners. These are person benefits much from a hands-on approach, actively exploring the physical world around them. So, tactile kinesthetic learners, these learners need a physical touch or trying something in order to learn the concept best. This style is often called multisensory learner because tactile learners hear or see to learn and then complete their learning by trying it out themselves. So example, when learning how to tie a shoelace, they will learn by trials and errors, using practical way and working out with their own hands. So, which do you communicate more in? Visual, kinesthetic, or auditory? So this is the end of my report. I hope you learned. Thank you very much.